Elaborating on that, Rajeev, this is not a political summit. It is about economics, but sometimes they intersect. And last year we saw certain opposition leaders, we saw many going berserk. They said it is the end of the Indian economy, right? We have shown a different way. Rahul Gandhi said, today I'm saying our country won't be able to give jobs. If you don't agree, then wait for 6 to 7 months. August 2020. P. Chidambaram in February this year said, you are still not learning the lessons of the last 36 months. I am afraid that as a result of your not learning the lessons, another 12 months will be lost. The poor will suffer and continue to suffer greatly. Question to you, are we suffering? How did the Doomsday prophets get it wrong? Did you have doubts in between? What has the journey been like? Rajeev.
So, Arnab, thank you for having me and thank you for that warm welcome. Look, I think, the Doomsday prophets, they do what they do, they say what they say, but it's important for all of us to understand, and in this economic summit, the journey that India has traveled over the last 19 months is something that we all should be extremely proud of. When COVID hit, and I'm going to take give you a slightly longer answer to this, Arnab. When COVID hit us in March of 2020 or February, depending on where you mark D-Day, we were finishing a financial year. We were close to completing $2.4 trillion economy. We took a little bit of a hit in that year. But it was clear that the impact of this unprecedented global pandemic would be deep, it would be far-reaching, and it was already showing signs of disruptions of global supply chains, demand, destruction, lives and livelihoods. And it was obviously that, along with that first quarter lockdown that caused a minus 24.9% contraction in the economy, had everybody clearly worried, uncertain about what the future held. Nobody had the virus. Nobody knew what the virus was. Nobody had the cure for it. And so there was all of this. But if you look at the journey of India from July 2020 to today, it has been a remarkable journey of steady hand at the wheel by the Prime Minister, a series of calibrated policy actions, amidst absolute uncertainty. We were navigating as a nation in the dark, stormy waters, all of that perfect storm scenario. And to top it, as if the job wasn't difficult enough, you had all these so-called experts, including the finance minister who ran the economy to the ground between 2018 to 2014, and a dynast politician who's never worked a day in his life, trotting out economic advice, saying India was not doing as much as the US, India was not doing this, India was not doing that. And I summarize my feeling today to those statements in a very small way. I like to use this phrase often in politics, which is that the best revenge is success. And there is no need to get into the head of these people who say what they say, who do what they do, excepting today to show to them how India is today one of the fastest growing economies in the world. It is receiving the highest amount of FDI in the world. Its bounce back as an economy has been amazingly, it is something that professors of economics must do case studies on. And we have managed to do this with absolute social order. And I say social order because compared this to what is happening in the US even today, where there are riots and there are anti-vaxxers and vaxxers, and we have navigated this ship through stormy waters and managed to deliver between January 2021 and October 21st, 2021, 1 billion vaccine shots. Now, you call them doomsday prophets. I call them, I would use stronger words for them.
Please do.
That question their intelligence and their very locus to comment on these things. But we are where we are today. We are extremely strong. We are a confident nation. The fact that we have made this journey of these last 19 months with such tremendous amount of results at the end of that journey gives us even more confidence about what the future holds for us. So I would urge your audience, those present here and those watching, that going forward, and as the Prime Minister said on August 15th, as he brought in the 75th year of independence, believe in this one line, yahi samay hai, yahi samay hai. And I don't say this out of a political, I'm not making this a political slogan, but this is really the time for India. And we have tailwinds of the kind that we have never had before. We have a confidence like the kind that we have never had before in terms of navigating these future opportunities that are in front of us.
Absolutely. Rhythm, you want to take the next one?
Absolutely. You've been speaking a lot about internet government policies. You've been talking about a new law that needs to be there. India, in fact, is leading this because as an intermediary, we're the only country that's actually trying to have regulation. So how are we, Mr. Chandrashekhar, going to go ahead and balance out free speech versus national sovereignty?
Look, I think I don't necessarily agree with the way the question was phrased, but let me just respond anyway to broadly this issue of internet and regulating the internet. The internet in 2021 is become a force multiplier as we have all experienced in the last 19 months. I mean, or maybe pre-COVID, internet was, the tech space was more involved in it. And currently, over the last 19 months, the digitization of our lives has been so total, so deep, so intense, and so complete that today, whether you are in Nagaland in the northeast, or you're in Srinagar in the north, or any part of India, any district of India, one of the key requirements of a citizen is the internet. Now, 80 crore Indians are online, 120 crore Indians are going to be online in the next 3 years, and the internet today is not what the internet was 5 years ago, and what was 5 years ago was not what it was 10 years ago. Things are changing at a velocity which is only the internet velocity. And therefore, the rules and the laws which have been either absent or have been cursory in terms of keeping the cyberspace and the growth of the cyberspace in an orderly manner have to come into place. And the way we are doing this today, and I don't think there is a binary between this is not a binary between free speech and anything else. We as a government are committed to everybody on the internet, every intermediary being accountable to his or her user, or his or her as a platform's user. And we see ourselves as custodians of Article 14, 19, and 21 of the Constitution, i.e., every user, every Indian user on the internet, whether he's a user of Republic.com or Facebook.com or any other intermediary, has to be guaranteed that he or she is not discriminated against, he or she has a right to free speech subject to 19(2), and he or she has got the right to privacy under Article 21. So there is absolutely no reason for us to censor. There is no role for the state to censor. I know, Rhythm, the point that you are referring to is to do with the INB, Ministry's rules on the digital media space, and that is sub judice, and that is in the courts, so I will not comment on that.